Welcome back everyone to another video. I've got quite a long one for you here today. I planned on making this video quite a while ago, but unfortunately because of just like I said, timing and stuff, I finally have time to upload this video. So this is, I believe this was actually my first or second 3-mark tank. I can't remember which one. Like I said, I did 3-mark the T-32, but I'm not going to show that because it was really stupid the way that it went. But this one, this 3-mark felt like it was worthy. Yeah, we're going to watch a couple of replays here. Every single battle that you show, or that I show today, is exactly in order. Before I, of course, 3-mark it. They're all mastery badges except for the actual battle when I do 3-mark it because of our tier 10 team, unfortunately. So, yeah, this map, it's one of my favorites. Actually, I love playing it. And I can just go hold down here, and yeah. So, I don't know why that shot bounced. It's kind of dumb that it did, but it's fine. I mean, it's not a huge deal. Also, I do want to mention the one thing. You probably noticed that I don't have engine noise in any of my, or most of my replays, because it gets bugged out. And if I try rewinding it, then it gets rid of the ammo and stuff, and that to me is really annoying. So, and I want you to be able to see what I have with my setup, and I feel like that's more important than having engine noise. So now, I've talked about this tank before on the channel, and it's, like I said, it's one of my favorites just because of the flexibility that it has. Mobility is decent. Its turret is very troll, but of course against 9s and 10s, if they're using gold or anything like that, they are going to be able to penetrate you quite easily. So yeah, we're just going to hold down. That's the best way to play this tank, and just try to get as much damage as we can. We are getting a nice amount of assistance at the moment, as well as damage. We're just pumping shots into people as they poke. And yeah, the reason that I 3-marked the T-32 and this tank fairly easily is because the marking requirements are kind of low, but that's because the tanks aren't that good, and people that play them are utter garbage. So yeah, that's why I think it's like 2100 or something like that average damage in this tank, which is pretty easy. And yeah, the DPM on this gun on these guns, I should say rather, is nice. It has 100mm guns, and actually the AP pen is actually really nice on this tank. I think it's like 230 or something like that, and then I think the gold is like 270 or something. I'd have to double check on that. It's been a long time since I've actually played this tank. Yeah, this was a couple months ago of when I 3-marked this, so yeah. So far, everything looks okay. Right flank is just chilling, waiting for things to poke. Left flank, same thing. In center, I'm going to try to move up here a little bit, see if I can advance any further than I already have. There's an enemy IS-2-II, and yeah, we're going to show him who's the better player here. And so far, both of us are garbage because we've both bounced our shots. Man, it's been such a long time since I've actually like seen 2 marks on this tank. It looks so weird to me. But yeah, 3-marking in general, I feel, is probably one of the hardest things you can do in this game, besides like top tier like clan wars and stuff like that and advances, and also just in general getting better at the game. I feel like those are the 3 hardest things you can ever do in this game. Yeah, this tank, I love this tank, even though it's not the greatest. But yeah, I do enjoy playing it. The hull, of course, is weak, so you can't really do anything with the hull very much. You can't rely on those bounces, unless if you get lucky. But yeah, I rely on the turret armor of this tank. I rely on the DPM. I rely on the accuracy as well. It's not too bad. I think it's like 0.3 or something like that, so it's not terrible, but it's not that great either. And yeah, just the flexibility with the guns, you can play it 3 ways. Like every double barreled you can play it single shot, and then you wait till the other barrel is completely loaded, or you wait 5 seconds and then you shoot again for faster rate of fire if you have to pump out that damage sooner than you can, or you can just fire both guns at the same time, firing a salvo to do higher damage. I personally only use salvos if I can get a kill, or if I see a tank that's being focused that needs to die. or if I just have the opportunity and I don't need DPM that badly, then I will use it as well. Other than that, I just use single shots. If I have shots, then I will take them, but if I don't, then I'll let both of my guns completely reload before I fire again. Yeah, that's how I play the 703 as well, and that's also how I play the IS-2-II and the IS-3-II. So, yeah, this tank, I feel like if it had a little bit more turret armor or even a little bit better hull armor, it would be like average, but I feel like it's just a little bit below average for a heavy tank, especially because its alpha is only 300. That's kind of low for that's pretty low for a tier 8 heavy. And I feel that the penetration kind of makes up for that, but at the same time, it's like, well, you kind of need alpha at this tier, especially when you have to fight tier 10s. Like, that's medium tank alpha. The 140, the T62A, etc. has that low of alpha. But yeah, so 3 marks for me was like this 3 marked tank that I have, this IS-2-II. I think it was actually harder than T-32 because with the T-32, I have better turret armor, I have a better cupola, believe it or not. Also, it has better alpha. I think it's like 360 or 320, something like that, versus the 300 that these 100 millimeters have. But the T-32, of course, had less pen, but overall it just had better armor, and it had, I think, a little bit better gun depression as well. And that, for me, it made it easier to 3 mark than this. Like, this tank, I think I've played, like, I don't know, like 700, 800 games in this tank, probably, maybe more. In the T-32, I only have, like, 200. It's not because I was trying to 3 mark it in that amount of time, but I just enjoyed playing it. I wanted to see if I could learn it and stuff like that, because I enjoyed it. Like, you know what, this is an interesting tank to play, so... unfortunately, it did take me a while to 3 mark this tank, a lot longer than I wish. It took probably maybe 200 games of when I actually started to take it seriously. And then the T-32, of course, I didn't start taking seriously until I got it fully upgraded and stuff. So yeah. This tank is also very, like, weak, so its modules get damaged, as you see there. I just got ammo racked. I've been set on fire quite a few times. I've been fuel tanked, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, it's kind of annoying to deal with. So I actually don't remember what I have set up in this tank. The last thing I remember is I had vents, improved rotation, and then I think I had either vertical stabilizer, or I think that's what I have, actually. And the same thing goes with the 703 and with the S-2-II and IS-3-II as well. I did sell the IS-3-II and the S-2-II as well, just because I didn't play them, but I am going to try to get them back eventually. I just need to grind credits for it. But yeah, I feel that if this, like I said, if this tank had a little bit more armor, either on the turret or the hull, I think it would be, like, it would actually be, like, not terrible. Hull down, though, it is annoying to deal with. Like, I played the Renegade against these things, and hull down, it's kind of annoying because the cupola is kind of small, especially from mid to far range. It's really annoying to deal with. And often, because of the Renegade's cupola, it gets penned a lot easier, obviously, and it has a lot bigger one, so it's easier to deal with. But, so yeah, dealing with these things hull down is kind of annoying, which I think is probably their biggest strength, besides having, like I said, that DPM and that penetration. I feel like are the best things about this tank. Yeah, the rest of the line is pretty good as well. Like the 703, the premium version, love that tank. I recently 2-marked it, yeah, it's fantastic. I do get annoyed with it because I play it too aggressively and stuff like that. I act like it has impenetrable armor, and that just kind of throws me off a little bit, unfortunately. The worst part about the 703 is probably its accuracy. Even with all the equipment that I have, it's like 0.4. And with the other tanks, they're around the same, but they're a little bit better. Like, I think the S-2-II is like 0.35 or something like that, 0.36. And like I said, this tank I think this actually has the best accuracy out of all of them. And also, so does the IS-3-II. It's also like 0.39, 0.38. So the accuracy for me on these tanks, I think, could be better. at least for, it's understandable why the 703 has terrible accuracy, because it's what makes it balanced, because the turret is also insane on that. The upper hull armor is also good, um, and in general, its alpha and penetration is also pretty good too. The heat rounds are amazing. I think it's like 370 or 380, or not three. I'm sorry, 270, 280 for the heat rounds in the 703, and yeah, I think as well the AP rounds for the IS-2-II are also fairly high, but I think probably the worst double-barreled, if you ask me, would be the ST2, because it has average base pen like for AP rounds, which is fine, but considering how the rest of the line is and how the rest of the double barrels are, I feel like it's a little bit like kind of just disappointing, and also it's the most sluggish compared to all the other ones as well. So that for me is kind of a downfall with the ST2. It's still a fairly decent tank. Like I said, hold down, it can be really strong. Like this tank, it has a fairly small cupola, but it is very weak. And I feel like because of that, and just because of how sluggish it is, and because of how weak the hull can be as well. The hull can be very troll, but I just feel like if it had a little bit of better hull armor, or if its cupola was like a little bit stronger, then yeah, it would be a good tank. Just because of how, like, if they did that, I feel like it would balance out the sluggishness of it, like of the playstyle of the ST2. The least sluggish, probably, if you ask me, probably the 703, to be honest, or the IS-2-II. But the IS-2-II just feels like it turns slower, so I'd have to say the 703 and this tank feel the least sluggish out of anything. Excuse me. And that for me is what made the ST2 a little bit kind of just awkward to play. And I ran the same equipment and stuff in that tank as I am running in these other tanks, just to help improve the gun handling and the accuracy and all that. With the 703, I'm actually considering taking off vert stabs or maybe IRM and replacing it with Ensure Gaming, just to make the circle size smaller and make it more accurate. I might try that and see if it helps, and see if that does anything with it. But yeah, I'll have to see and try it. And that was a nice high roll there from our Salvo. We high rolled by 60 damage there, which would be like 30 a shot, so that's pretty good. Yeah, I feel like because of the way that this line was made, I feel like it's not the greatest, but I feel like it's balanced for the most part. Like I said, I think the ST2 could be a little bit better. Same thing with this tank, but other than that, I think they're very well balanced. And yeah, we're just going to wrap up this match here, and hopefully we'll be able to get this next shot in. I don't think we do, actually. Like I said, yeah, we don't. It's been a long time since I've actually watched these replays. I just had them saved and recorded so I can make this video later. So yeah, that was the first match. Not too bad at all. 4 kills and almost 4,000 damage. 1,500 base XP nearly, so not bad at all. And yeah, here we're on to the next match. We're on to Mountain Pass, and it is a Tier 6 game, so from what I remember, actually, I do believe I throw this game, if I remember correctly. Like I said, this was a couple months ago, like 3 or 4 months ago, that I've had these replays. I think I actually do throw here, and it is my fault. But yeah, they have an enemy 703 and a Skoda. That's kind of when the Skoda first came out, was during this replay, so dealing with those were really annoying. So those two tanks are going to be the most impactful, or even the Scorpion as well could be the most impactful on this team, or on the enemy team, I'm sorry, at least for them. So yeah, against tier 6s and lower tiers, you'll pretty much block anything, hull down. Your hull can be very troll at times as well, so you can block stuff from your hull. At least against tier 6s, 7s, they can go through it. Usually they won't have a problem. But the turret, of course, they're not going to get through very easily. I think the only tank that can actually pen me in the turret would be the Scorpion and the 703. Because I know the 703, it can pen its own cheeks with heat rounds. Yeah. So I believe those two tanks, I think, I could be wrong. I don't think the Skoda could with gold rounds, enemy in the turret or not. I don't know for sure. I don't really know anything about the Skoda other than that it has really high burst damage. So I always go to this position if I can, but high tier, when you're top tier, you kind of have to be because of how important you are and how much of an influence you need to be when you're top tier. So I've got Troy right next to me. He's helping me. And my friend Riker, he's covering the cross area there in his T-28. So the MT-25, for whatever reason, just goes off on a YOLO run. Look at him go. I don't know what he's trying to do. I do bounce him, unfortunately, and because I tunnel visioned, that Skoda does punish me. And of course he is going to pen me because I'm showing the side of my turret, so he's of course going to go through it. So far, things aren't looking too bad. And yeah, it looks like we have kind of a good crossfire here. And just kind of the left side of the map is kind of ours. For whatever reason, Ice Road is just not being taken whatsoever. All of our sixes are just sitting there, which is kind of understandable. But I feel like they could have been doing something more useful. That's just me. And yeah, it looks like Bridge is going okay too. We've got a Cromwell and a Super Chaffee up there as well. And then our 1357 did go spot Ice Road, but I think he's going to die here because that Indian Panzer in the Yo. Yep, there he goes. Excuse me. So yeah, this tank, I feel like it's best to play it. If you can play it hull down, you pretty much have to. Otherwise, you're just going to get eaten alive, like you've seen here so far. Like those Skodas and those other tanks that have shot me, they've just completely annihilated me. And unfortunately, me and Troy here are just going to get farmed from the rear from their artillery because it's an M44. But yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about this tank, to be honest. So I think that, like, if you're going for 3 marks, I think the best thing you can do is watch as many videos as you can on the tank, learn its weaknesses, learn its advantages, learn the maps, learn the positioning of the maps. All that stuff is incredibly important, because, yeah, that shot was my fault there. I was being greedy. Yeah, you have to, like, really know what you're doing. You know, 3 marks at this point pretty much means that you're one of the best players in that tank for even a short amount of time, which is still good. Again, that shot was my fault, but at the same time, if you can maintain it, then that's really good as well. Yeah, I feel like it's probably the hardest thing I've had to do just because of the inconsistency of the matchmaking. That for me is kind of a huge downfall, which is why it took a lot longer in this tank than it did in the T-32. Other 3-mark tanks I'm trying to get is stuff like the KV-2, but like I said, the matchmaking has just been too unreliable. Been too many tier 8s where I just get rushed and farmed, stuff like that. You know, it's hard, especially in a heavy tank, because you don't have that flexibility, like with the mobility and stuff. I feel like mobility is a huge part in that. That can be a huge downfall because marks, at least for me, is you have to pretty much like go after damage, like you have to chase it pretty much. And again, kind of my fault. Again, I was just being greedy there with those shots. So I noticed now that we're kind of just in a bad crossfire, so I told Troy and Raker to fall back, and so that's what we're going to have to do. And we're going to have to go defend base. And you'll see the really big mistake here that I made of when I throw. It'll be a little bit later yet in the game. So yeah, they're pushing Ice Road. I'm actually quite surprised that the enemy didn't push Ice Road sooner, considering how long the Yo and the Indian Panzer were there. So that to me is actually a little surprising, at least for me. But yeah, we're going to keep advancing. We have to fall back and try to protect our lower tiers. And I'm guessing, I'm going to assume the worst, that they're going to cap. So that's also another reason we decided to fall back. I do get my 4th kill there when the Leo makes a mistake and over peaks. So now we're just over 3,000 damage. And we're just going to try to keep plowing as much as we can. And yeah, at this point, I'm really worried that the Scorpion and the T-78 might be coming down towards like G4 to shoot us in the rear, or G5, and same thing with the bridge. So that was my biggest concern at the moment, was trying to get across here safely, just because I didn't know what was going on. and also I didn't know, what could have happened or what could happen. So, yeah. So, I think that, like, for the most part, if I had not thrown, I think we would have had an easy win in this game, honestly. If I hadn't made this mistake, it would have been 100% a win, I think. Like I said, I don't remember, but I do remember that I do throw this game. Excuse me. So I'm going to put a nice salvo into the side of the yo there to finish him off. And that's when I prefer to use salvos as well, like I said, is to finish off a tank if it must be killed. Even though my DPM does drop quite a bit because of it, I don't mind that. Unfortunately, we do bounce the Indian Panzer there, and he's going to put a round into me. And so I'm just going to try to finish him off. We do for our 6th kill, and we're almost at 4,000 damage now. So here's the mistake I make, is when I turn around, pretty much I just underestimate where the Scorpion was. I'm going to be completely honest, I actually remember what I did wrong here. I overpeak, and I thought it was like, oh, I for whatever reason, my mind read Nashorn when I was looking at the Scorpion. For whatever reason, I saw Nashorn, and I'm like, oh, I can take a shot, it's fine, I'll just salvo him to death. But no, I was wrong. For whatever reason, yeah, there it is. The Scorpion's right there, and unfortunately, there's nothing else I could have done about it because I simply got too greedy, and I thought, oh, it's fine. And Troy was trying to tell me, he's like, no, it's not a. He's like, no, it's a Scorpion. It's not a freaking Nashorn. So, yeah, that was big mistake on my fault. So I pretty much threw the game. Troy here is going to try his absolute best to see what he can do. And he was asking me, like, well, what should I do? I said, well, if you sit there on the hill, you can let them come to you, and you can farm them whenever they overpeak. And unfortunately, Troy does get unlucky as well, and we actually do end up losing this game. Our Tiger is just sitting there, and he's gonna die to the T-78, unfortunately. So, yeah, like I said, this loss was 100% my fault, and yeah, I'm the reason that we lost this. So, so yeah, for now, I'm just gonna watch and see what happens here. This map, I feel like it's won a lot of the times by camping here, especially this position. Like, if you have a TD, I've seen TDs go back to like K9-ish, like, or K0, I'm sorry. There's bushes there, and then they have someone sit here on the hill like Troy is, and they would have a crossfire going to where you couldn't spot the TD, so then you get shot by a TD and you get shot up from a heavy or a medium, whoever's sitting up here, and you could easily win it that way as long as you didn't get rushed from Ice Road or something like that. So yeah, I'm just gonna quickly be quiet for a little bit and let you guys finish watching this match here. Yep, and there we go. That's where he gets unlucky there. It almost looked like the Scorpion pixeled that, but no, nevertheless, still a kind of a fairly decent match. Like I said, my fault, I threw. Alright, on to the next one. So, this is the last battle before I 3-mark it, so this is the last time that I am 2-marked. So, yeah. We spawned on, freaking Berlin. I'm sorry, guys, my brain does not want to work today. So, this map I feel is also a decent map for this tank. I'm like, okay, there's tier 9, no worries. I can deal with these guys pretty easily. And there's also tier 7 as well, so I get to farm the lower tiers, and I get to, I get to bully the lower tiers and get to farm the higher tiers. So that's exactly what we're going to do this match. I don't remember how this one goes, to be honest, so we'll see what happens. And once again, I am with Troy. He is in his Caliban, which is pretty much the auto-loading KV2. You guys already know what that is. Auto-reloading KV2, I'm sorry, is what I'm going to call it. So yeah, the only tank I'm really worried about on this match was the 263 because he's pretty much impenetrable if he's hull down. And also the 252U also has really good armor as well. So those were the biggest tanks that I was concerned about. Other than that, like I said, this is pretty much a free farm. And then, unfortunately, here comes the 263. I wasn't reading the mini-map. I thought he poked around the other side sooner, but that was just me not being able to read. So he does show us his side, so that tells me that he's not exactly a great player. I don't know what he's doing, but either way, that's still kind of funny. So I do try to track him here, see if I can keep him locked in place. And now I'm going to back down, that way you can't touch my hull, because you actually can touch my hull here. Yeah, unfortunately, didn't quite reload in time to be able to get another shot on him, but that's okay. Troy decided he wants to be aggressive, so he's gonna try to get some side shots on. Unfortunately, can't quite penetrate it, and like I said, he can touch my my hull, and he actually, I think he penned my turret there is what it looked like for a second. But yeah, so our Yo also decided to move up, so he is sitting there as well. And I think the map, I don't know if I've actually shown this map yet on this channel, but I actually do like that they added kind of like a city-ish for the mediums in the south, because before it was just a flat, open, killy area, and it was really bad for mediums. It was just an area where heavies like to sit. And, yeah, I mean, it was pretty awkward to play. So now I notice that Troy's getting rushed, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to help you, I'm going to cover your rear while he deals with these guys here. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Another thing, too, is that I feel like this map can be easily won if you be aggressive and you have allies to help you. We do get a nice little salvo there into the 252U. He needed to die, so I felt like it was appropriate to use the salvo. And I am kind of hull down against this 263, so I'm going to be able to shoot him once there. And, yeah, I feel like as long as you have the allies that push with you, this is like almost a free win, if you ask me. We do get a nice shot there onto the Super Hellcat. We do take him out for our... Or no, I'm sorry. That was actually Troy that killed someone. Okay, someone else killed the Super Hellcat. Wow, I am stupid. Anyway, so we're going to keep moving forward. I'm going to try to bait this Tiger P. Troy's like, nah, I'll do it. I got turn arm. I'm like, okay, you go for it. So, I'm going to try to get a salvo here. I do hit his roof, and unfortunately, I do low roll. I really low roll. So I'm like, it's okay, Troy, save your HP. And I'm going to try to ram him. If I have DPM, so I can easily out DPM him. Do finish him off for our first kill. That's when we actually do get our kill. And now we're up to 2.7k damage, and yeah, like I said, this was pretty easy. Yeah, for whatever reason, all their heavies decided to go south, and, well, most of them anyway. And they're not doing a whole great job in the south either. Our TNH and looks like our Super Pershing and our Progetto are holding them off. Our 229 unfortunately is sniping, but we didn't really need him, you know, because he's just, you know, we don't really need him. Because me and Troy and our other pal here have it. So now I'm going to aim. I do think I hit that blind shot. I don't remember, actually. Like I said, it's been a long time since I watched these replays. By the way, let me know like if you guys want to see any other content. I'll have to make a video later about like what's going to be happening with my future and stuff. Like I still don't know what's going on. I still have to do a bunch of stuff, and hopefully I'll be able to inform you guys of what's going on in my life. Because you guys know I am wanting to become a farmer and work with my uncles. You know, you guys have seen videos. I've showed videos of me farming before. So yeah, I may be doing that from now on. So I'm just trying to make as many watt videos as I can for you guys to enjoy. Because I know that, you know, it's one of the only things that I can make for you right now. I do have a review I want to make on some earbuds I have, really good earbuds. I don't want to spoil it, but that video will be coming out within the next month or so. Actually, I'll have to make it soon before surgery. So all of July, to inform you guys, I will be pretty much out. So I'll make videos and stuff, but I'm not going to be playing WAP that much. I'm going to, you know, not be doing advances and stuff, because I have a 6+ week recovery from foot surgery. I'm sorry. I had the same surgery last year on my right foot, and now I'm getting it done on my left foot. So I'll have plenty of time to edit these videos for you guys and upload them. So there we go, another nice ace there, just over 4k damage. Like I said, it's pretty easy to ace this tank. The recs are pretty low, and like I said, getting damage in this tank can be pretty easy as well. So here we go. Here is when we get our 3. Oh, well, like I said, I don't remember if this is my first 3 mark or my second one. I don't remember. I believe that this was my second. I don't know. It's been so long. So yeah. By the way, Winter now. I'm actually in Winter's clan now, which is I used to be in Tron with him, but I did join his clan. He created Yikes and left Tron, so I'm currently in his clan. I'm doing advances with him and for him, and playing with his clanmates and stuff. So yeah, this was actually I was actually surprised that as I was back to saying, sorry there. I was actually quite surprised that this was the game that I was going to 3-mark it. I had a feeling, I'm like, you know, there's a chance. So right off, AMX, Salvo, bounce, of course. Kind of, like I said, greedy on my part. That was my fault. I shouldn't have expected that to pen, but, you know, it's okay. There's the 140 there. We are going to shoot him in the side. Do get a little bit of a high roll. And, yeah, the reason I stopped here is because I wanted to try to get side shots on the tanks. And I didn't want to just rush in because they have an IS-7, they have an E3, which are very dangerous, and I don't want to try to go hold down against them because I'm going to die, pretty much. So yeah. Yeah. It was pretty an intense battle, too. We ended up losing this. It was kind of not surprising because, like I said, the South is kind of North isn't really doing a whole lot right now. And unfortunately, RNG says, no, you're going to hit the 140 side with its tracks and you're not going to be able to pen it. I'm like, okay, it's fine. Yeah. Very unfortunate, but yeah, looks like they pretty much have taken center. And there's not a whole lot I can do right now. I don't want to cross over because I'm going to get shot in the side by the 140 and by the AMX as well. So he does still see me. Unfortunately, that shot completely misses. So I'm going to try to sit, hold down here, and try to do as well as I can to try to keep them from being able to rush the Yo and the Death Star that we have further down in the south that actually are doing something about City. So yeah, I'm afraid that the T-54 would spot me if I crossed, so for now I just decided it's best just to hang back. Again, another unfortunate bounce there in the side of the IS-3, but we do make up for it, and unfortunately that was a major low roll, 266. Ugh. I don't remember exactly what the low roll is for this, but if it's 25%, I think that's probably where it would be, maybe 240 or something like that. I don't know. I can't do that math in my head. So now I decided to move up. I should be okay. I was still worried about getting spotted by the AMX, but he probably won't be able to spot me from there. At least I was hoping. So I do take out the E3, which was critical because, again, he was pretty much the most dangerous target that was still alive. Thankfully, their IS-7 did die as well. So now I'm just going to help our Yo here, and I'm going to help Riker to hopefully take care of this WZ. And that's exactly what we're going to do. And yeah, I'm just going to pump my DPM into him as much as I can. So yeah, unfortunately that shot does bounce, but you know, that's RNG for you. Had a 50-50 according to the indicator, and I am going to finish him off here for my second kill. Yeah, this match was just, like I said, we've pretty much camped the entire time. No one took crucial positions. And yeah, as you can see there, Winter's like, good luck on the 3 mark, and you know, he gave me good luck on it. So yeah, thank you, Winter. Yeah, I'm gonna salvo this IS-3. It does penetrate him. Unfortunately, it does low roll, and he does end up putting a round into me. And finally, my platoon mate's able to finish him off. Yeah, we have enough for the mark wreck, so I should have enough right now to 3 mark this. But I still want to get more if possible, because I don't know what the percentage was at. If I remember correctly, I think it was like by 0.2 or something, or 0.02 of how much further it was up after the end of this game. So, you know, it was a good thing that I did get the damage that I get. Unfortunately, I think the salvo either misses or I can't touch him. Okay, yeah, I can't touch him. Unfortunately, does miss. It goes right above him, but hey. So I decided, you know what, our Death Star is falling back. I told my platoon mate, you know, let's help this Yo and the Death Star try to defend base, because this is still winnable. You know, this is very easily winnable. Unfortunately, I keep driving, and just as I fire it, I go up too much and I hit that Udis' upper plate. But we are going to, he's going to die to our E3. And yeah, we're going to try to reset, but I think it's going to be too late by the time we get there. So, like I said, this was still winnable, but unfortunately, just because of the way that the team was, and unfortunately, the Yo does decide to push me out in front, and I am going to be able to finish off this AMX, thankfully, which leads me to about 3,000 damage now. And there we go, the enemy does finish capping, and we do end up losing this match, unfortunately. But anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed watching my Road to 3 marks. If you liked it, please leave a like, and hey, I will catch you all later.